Welcome to In the Lounge with Dre and Queen Vee. I am your host, Queen Vee, and I have with me that dude they call Dre. What up, Dre?
I sure do miss my adjectives, but
I listen.
Queen
That's
Vee,
the best I got for the night.
Queen
Dude, Dre.
Vee, what's the good word? What's going on?
Nothing much. How you been?
I've been great.
Awesome.
I couldn't wait until this podcast today
Why?
because, I always say what I feel, and I got some things I want to say about this Kevin Hart apology. And what award show is this?
The Academy Awards.
The Academy Awards. I don't even know which one it is, but I got some thoughts on that.
Okay.
So and I'm gonna tell you now, if you don't like my thoughts, you might not. I'm not apologizing for it. These are my thoughts, my opinions, and if you have an issue with it, I'll just hit the pause button or just stop because I got some stuff on my mind. I got some opinions about this. Queen Vee, you got any opinions about it?
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute.
All right, we're gonna get into that, but first, we are going to get into Queen Vee's word on the street. Queen Vee, hit us with that word on the street. Let's do it.
It's the queen, y'all. It's the queen, y'all.
Place your ear to your speaker and get ready for Queen Vee's word on the street.
It's the queen, y'all. It's the queen, y'all.
Word on the street is Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child and her fiance, Pastor Chad Johnson, have broken off.
Chad Johnson, the football player?
I said Pastor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Chad Johnson.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
White boy Chad Johnson.
Okay, go
not
ahead.
Football player Black Johnson. Okay,
Gotcha. Not woman beater Johnson. Okay, go ahead.
That was uncalled for. that was uncalled for.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There goes that thin line with that humor. Uh-huh. So, anywho, they broke off their engagement. But the crazy part to me is they got this brand new reality show about their engagement and, planning for the wedding and counseling and preparing to be one big happy couple forever and ever. And now y'all getting broke. Like, y'all didn't know y'all was headed down the road of breakup before you decided to take on this reality show?
Let me tell you what that is about, okay? You plan this big wedding or whatever, you get a reality show to do it, everything is fine, everything is okay, you decide to break up and go your separate ways, but that doesn't stop the money. Reality shows are about money.
That is
so let me
true.
tell you this, if they did a reality show on you and I opening up a restaurant, and then at the end of that taping, we decide not to do it, the shit's still going to air because I want to get my money and I'm sure you would want to get your money. So that's probably why they still are, airing this show, even though they decided.
Well, it had already started airing. So
okay.
They can't stop.
Well, it's still about the money. It's all about the money. Follow the money trail. You'll know why. Follow the money trail. Too many people.
I get that. I just think it's crazy.
And it's a shame because everything is money driven in this world today. People do crazy stuff for money.
So what you saying is you think that they were already headed down that road?
Absolutely.
And they knew that before going into this reality show?
Absolutely.
Or do you really think when they went into the reality show that they were thinking they were going to be happily
they
ever
probably
after?
were, but still.
I know she had checked herself into a mental institution a few months back. So from what I saw on Instagram was that she's pretty much saying that she has to get herself right. She can't be ruining someone else in another relationship if she's not whole. So, maybe they really did think that this was going to be happily ever after, but maybe her mental health got in the way.
That could be it. And I think they could have noticed it a lot sooner than the time they said they announced that they weren't going to,
Maybe it just reached a breaking point.
Of course, yeah.
But I wish them both well. I wish her well with her mental health. I hope she gets the help she needs and gets the healing that she needs so that she can be whole and can give herself to someone else. Somebody gonna say, because they had a no sex relationship. So some dude gonna say that's because they wasn't giving each other no sex.
Nah, that.
I'm like, y'all are so stupid.
Yeah,
I need you to get your mind out the gutter.
People are stupid. I'm telling you.
But I wish them well.
All right. Do you have anything else? Don't you have another one, Queen Vee?
Oh, so I'm a reggae lover.
Boo! Reggae sucks.
Whatever. I love reggae. I'm telling you, I think I was Jamaican in my past life.
Headache music. Go ahead.
I can listen to it all day long. Buju Banton was released the other day after serving 8 years in prison for, quote, drug trafficking charges. I'm not going to say whether they was bogus or not. I'm not saying that he didn't, I'm just saying drug trafficking charges. So he was released. He was in prison here in the States. So he was released and they flew him to Jamaica. And he was greeted by all his fans when he landed. And he said that he wants to just focus on his music. He don't want to focus on those charges. He don't want to focus on, the last 8 years of his life. He just wants to focus on his music.
That's nice.
Whatever.
Hey, let me ask you this. How long did he go to jail for?
8 years. He was supposed to serve 10.
What do you think he said to his fans? Now, you said his fans were waiting out there when he came home.
Yeah, to Jamaica.
He got released.
Yes.
What do you think he said to his fans, to his fans when he went to jail?
I'm scared to ask because I know you're going to say something stupid.
Boom, bye, bye. Boom, bye, bye. You know that song, right? I don't even know if he sings that one, but that's still funny, right? Boom, bye, bye.
Okay, we're going to move on.
You have no sense of humor. If you thought that was funny, just leave me a comment on the website, please. Just leave it in the comment section of this post because some people just don't have a sense of humor.
Whatever.
Just don't have a sense of humor. Anyway. So, is that it for your word on the street, Queen Vee?
Yeah, I'm good because I don't feel like hearing no more corny jokes, so I'm good.
It wasn't corny. If you think it was corny, let me know. All right, so now we're going to talk about Kevin Hart. Now, I got some opinions about it, so I'm too hyped up to explain it, but can you, Queen Vee, just let us know what's going on with Kevin Hart?
I know that you usually have lists and stuff. So
I have
assuming that you have
list
the
today.
tweets.
I have no list today.
So you don't even know what the tweets are.
I have the tweets here.
Okay, see, I knew I didn't have to go and do that research. I knew I could count on you.
I can read them.
I knew I could count on you. So basically, Kevin Hart was, invited to host the Oscars, which is, they try to make it as black as they can. So now they have black hosts.
Yay.
I'm just saying, boo, whatever. Ain't nobody that stupid. We still ain't winning shit, but whatever. So anywho, they asked him to host. He was extremely excited. He said he's been waiting his whole life for this honor. And then these tweets, homophobic tweets. Of course, somebody went and dug them up. These tweets have been dug up before. He apologized in the past. However, the Oscar committee wanted him to apologize again, or they would find a replacement. So Kevin was like, I'm stepping down. Deuces.
So let me get this straight.
And maybe you should read the tweets.
I will, but let me get this straight. So let me just get some clarification for my understanding before I give my opinion, okay? So basically, he said something a long time ago, I guess
years ago,
about gay and lesbians, correct? The jokes.
Aren't gays and lesbians the same?
Gay, well, you know what I mean. Gay men and gay women, put it that way, right? I don't remember all the letters. So he said something about gay men and gay women, right? A long time ago. He apologized for it a long time ago, and now that it's been brought to the surface again because he's hosting the Oscars, and they want him to apologize again.
Correct.
That's correct. Okay. Here's my opinion.
Well, can we read the tweets first so that people can understand who hasn't seen it?
The tweets
are important because it lets you know what he said.
I'm going to read the tweets, but this is
Before
not.
you start giving your opinion,
It doesn't
let's hear-
give his opinion about what he said 2 years ago. It
I
just
just want to
says,
know what the tweet said so that people can understand what he actually said before you start giving your opinion.
Okay, I'll read it, but he didn't. It doesn't
appreciate
say
it.
what he said in here. All he says is, let's see. I've made the choice to step down.
Okay, stop.
See, it doesn't give
Hold
you.
on. I wanted the actual pause.
You want the comments?
Yes.
Okay, so you go ahead and read the tweets. You have them?
Yes, I'm gonna just give you a couple examples.
Okay, go ahead.
So one, back in 2011, he said, "Yo, if my son comes home and tries to play with my daughter's dollhouse, I'm going to break it over his head and say in my voice, 'Stop, that's gay.'"
Okay.
Um,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
he said, he said, hold on. I don't know who these people are, so because he's tweeting. So he says, "Look how gay so and so looks when he sleeps. It looks like he's dreaming about whistling."
Okay.
He said, "Yo, what the WTF is going on with so and so and all this gay shit? Say it ain't so, man. Is he coming out of the closet?"
All right. So we got some of the comments. So
I think the one that they were most upset was with the one about his son playing with the dollhouse and how he would, hit him over the head and be like, and you got to remember Kevin Hart says that all the time. Like, "I'm not gay. Like, that's so gay." Or,
yeah.
So
they
yeah.
want him to apologize for that again, basically.
Yes. And he's already apologized. And he's like, "I'm not doing it again."
Okay, so here's my opinion. I think he did the right thing, and there's no way in hell I would apologize again, especially after some time has went past. Ain't no way in hell I'm apologizing again. I think that the Oscars, I don't know, man. I think they just
I think they're trying to save face.
Everybody wants to be. What do you mean?
They're trying to save face. They're trying to make sure they cover their tails just in case someone comes and says, "We're not going to be watching the Oscars this year because you got Kevin Hart hosting and he doesn't like gay people." So to make sure they cover their tail, they're telling him up front, "You need to go ahead and apologize because
That's
we
crazy.
need to make sure ain't nobody." Because just think about it though. The whole reason they got Kevin Hart hosting to begin with, Dre, is because they're trying to save face. The whole, boycott of the Oscars a couple years back, they done had a black host since then, haven't they? I wouldn't know because I stopped watching it years ago. But
I don't think so. But I think that's stupid because I'm just pissed off because everybody wants to be, everybody's scared. I think here's the thing. Now, let me just say this. This is what pisses me off. This is just my opinion. So y'all, anybody, even you, Queen V, you can go against it if you want and think different or whatever. That's fine.
I
But
don't need your permission.
here's my thing. When people jump and the news just jumps, like when people say something about the gay community, they just jump and everybody's scared and everybody's shook, but yet they still, when people say racist stuff about black people, the news media, they still jump on that too. But I mean, lately it's just like, you say anything about gays and gay men and lesbian women, it's just people just, everybody goes into a fear. Like everybody's scared. Everybody wants to cover their ass. Now I want you to listen to this clip. Listen to this. I'm gonna play a clip, and I want you to listen. And I'm not gonna tell you who it is or what it is. I'm gonna just play it right now. So listen to this.
I will jump that fence and fight every nigger here, bro.
Okay, that clip that you just heard, that was Riley Cooper, former Philadelphia Eagle. He was videotaped at a concert saying what he just said about fighting or beating up all those niggers. So when he said that, to me, people treated it like it wasn't a big thing. Because here's the thing. The NFL, they have a no tolerance for hitting women, domestic violence. They have a no tolerance policy with, just racist comments and stuff like that. So when he said that, you would think the NFL would step in and say, you're suspended. They do that for domestic violence. They do that for people who drink. Driving under the influence. They do all of that. They discipline all of that, right? Hear me out.
I mean, but you haven't figured out yet that the NFL is not for us?
Let me make my point. Let me make my point. I know it's not for us, but I'm just making a point. I'm just trying to compare. If you let me explain, I'm trying to compare something with something, okay? So I'll tell you that when I'm done. So here's the thing. He said that word. He said he'll beat these niggas, all that stuff. The NFL decides, the people who do all of the punishment and all of that decide we're going to let this be handled on a team level. So meaning we're not going to do anything. We're going to let the Philadelphia Eagles discipline him, which they ain't do jack shit. What they did was gave him this big ass, excuse my language, they gave him this big ass contract and he stinks too. He wasn't even that great at the time, but they give him this big contract. And yet, after he said all of that, he gets this big contract. Now, had he said, I'll smack a gay man, I'll smack a lesbian, bitch in the face, his career would have been over the next day. So what I'm saying is the comparison of somebody saying racist stuff like nigger, and any type of black people love chicken or Hispanics, this and that, it doesn't get as much concern. It gets concern, but it doesn't get as much concern as people talking about gay men and gay women. So I guess what I'm saying is if we're gonna like put so much concern on, what people said years ago about gays, gay men and gay women. Why are we not doing that with people who say racist stuff about blacks, Hispanics, and all that other stuff? You see, the comparison is different. And so what I'm saying is, I think America is, like I said, it's gonna piss some people off. I think America is so, I don't even want to curse, but I think America is so caught up on kissing the ass of LGBT, whatever it is, community. No disrespect. I really mean that. No disrespect. I honestly mean it. I just don't remember. My memory's bad. But the kissing ass with that, the LGBT community, is it LGBT? LGBT community, like, you say something about them, and it's just like, oh, hell, we suspending you, you're out of here, all this stuff, you're going to apologize. But when it comes to saying something racist about any other race, it's not a big deal. And I'm tired of it already. I'm just trying to, I just keep thinking about the Riley Cooper thing. If he said, let's go beat up a gay man, his career would have ended the next fucking day. The next day. I guarantee you, he would have never played again. But if because he said beat up some niggas or whatever, all of a sudden the NFL wouldn't, ain't going to do nothing. They're going to leave it to the team. So I'm just pissed off. I'm tired of like everybody's kissed like politicians. You kissing the ass of LGBT rights and all of that. What about the damn rights of us? What about the? I'm going far into something different. So I'm gonna just pull back. I'm gonna pull back, and we can talk about the Kevin Hart thing. I'm sorry, but it's related. So sorry, Queen V, for just going off on this, but it's related. Why should he have to apologize for something that happened 2 years ago when he already apologized? Stop kissing ass. The society needs to stop kissing ass. The Oscars need to stop kissing ass. He apologized a long time ago for that. You want him to apologize again? The Oscar the Oscars, you're the people who put that together, you're all assholes. I don't know if any of you are listening, but you all are assholes. Why are you going to make somebody apologize again for something that happened 2 years ago? Because you want to cover your ass.
It actually happened in 2011.
Whatever.
That wasn't 2 years ago. I'm just saying if you're going to pull out facts.
I thought it was 2 years ago. That makes it even worse. 7 years ago. You can. Oscars, you're an asshole. The Oscars are assholes. They are. They are. They really are. Ass kissers. Go ahead.
So I get your frustration. I get your comparison. I don't know if I would go as far as to call the Oscars assholes. I think that they're business people who are protecting their brand.
Stu Nods of the week. Go ahead. They ain't assholes. They Stu Nods of the week. Go ahead.
I think they're professionals. They're business that's protecting their brand. Now, whether I agree with that or not, I'm just telling you from I'm playing devil's advocate here and just talking about from their point of view. At the end of the day, they don't want no backlash, so they trying to head it off at the front instead of, not getting what they need at the end, which is audience in them seats and people watching. And it goes back to the whole thing with Kevin Hart hosting. He's hosting because they got backlash for the fact that they were tired of the Oscars being so white. You don't remember the hashtag Oscars so white?
I remember.
And since then, they've had a black host. And I guarantee you they replaced Kevin Hart with somebody black. So it's the same.
I'm sure.
It's the same situation. They trying to cover their tracks. And part of me is like, I get what you say. I get what y'all trying to do. But at the end of the day, the man has already apologized for something that happened in 2011. That's number one. Number two, he's a comedian. Everything comedians say, there's somebody like D.L. Hughley said. Everything a comedian says, there's always a victim.
Yeah.
I don't care whether you're talking about gays, marriages, black and white issues, religion, politics. There's always a, quote, victim.
Right. I agree.
So, when you're a comedian, ain't nothing off limits. And if you don't like what that comedian is saying, then maybe that's not the comedian you need to be supporting. And thirdly, I'm not gonna say that one. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna leave my third response alone. Because that might be a little too much.
I want to hear it. I'm sure now you done said it to the world. Let's go. Go ahead, let's hear it. What's the third one?
No, because this was gonna sound more like not a stereotype, but I don't wanna open up even more like controversy.
Okay, you know what? You ain't got to tell me. You can just keep, everybody who's listening are probably going to be a little pissed off and get an itch because they don't know what it is, but we can skip it. But we can skip it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's a comedian. Point blank, he's a comedian. And Richard Pryor said it best. Richard Pryor said that there's one rule in comedy, just one. You can say anything that comes to mind so long as it's funny. It don't matter if it's offensive. Half the sugar honey iced tea they say is offensive. But it better be funny. If you gonna step on that line, it better be funny. Now, were the tweets funny? I'm just saying.
Were they? Did you think they were funny?
A couple of them was funny. A couple of them I was like, But hey.
Have you ever heard a joke about black people that was funny that was given by a white person?
Let me just say something real quick though.
All right, go ahead.
So, Nick Cannon is in an uproar about this.
Okay.
He's like Team Kevin all day. So he pulled up some old tweets from Amy Schumer, Sarah Silverman, Chelsea Handler, who are all white women who had the same gay tweets.
Okay.
I should say. And I guess his thought is like, y'all not making them apologize for stuff they said years ago.
That's
but again, I don't know if they've ever hosted the Oscars either. I guess I need to do my research. I usually leave that up to you. But I don't know if they've ever hosted the Oscars.
Probably not. But I get it. It's a valid point. I think, even though they ain't host the Oscars.
And listen, don't get me wrong. I'm all for gay rights.
Right.
I don't think people should be, hurting someone or bullying someone because of their sexual preference. However, a joke is a joke. And as a comedian, that's what they get paid to do, is to tell jokes.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Like, you beat me to the punchline. My opinion of this has nothing to do with me not liking this or that group, because I love everybody. I don't care if you're gay, black, white, Puerto Rican, Spanish, whatever. I don't care. Those who know me, they know the difference between what I'm pissed off about, what I just said, and how I am as a person. I love all people. So this has nothing to do with me not liking a specific group of people, no matter what they are, gay, black, white, whatever. So I just want everybody to know that this is not me not liking them. This is me trying to figure out why society pay more attention and have more concerns about one specific thing and not the other, when they're both the same offensive comments.
And so I'm gonna say this. This was my third point I was talking about earlier, right?
Wow, I got it out of her. Go ahead.
Whatever. Black men, not all black men, but black men in general, we're taught that you need to be manly men. When you look at his tweets that he wrote, they were all kind of around that manly man upbringing.
Right. Yes,
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, you're right.
So I was trying to find a nice way to say it without sounding like, I don't want it to sound like, all black men are anti-gay, but because they're not.
Right.
But there's, you're raised to be a manly man.
That's true, yeah.
They don't want nobody that's, a punk and, don't be crying and
Yeah.
So I was watching the show The Neighborhood. Funny, hilarious show with Cedric the Entertainer. Great comedian, by the way.
Show is whack.
And I love it. Whatever. And it's about, it just talks about the differences in the white stereotypes and the black stereotypes. They're neighbors, and one's a white family, one's a black family. And the black son comes home in some pink pants. And his father's like, yo, what the hell? You wearing your girlfriend pants? Like, what is that? So that's just how, some people are brought up. So when you look at his tweets, it's not like he was like bullying. He was just speaking from his upbringing.
Right. I get it.
Why are you wearing that shit, man? That looks gay. It wasn't to be offensive. That's just the way they're brought up. I'm not saying that that's like, an excuse to be gay, to be, homophobic or gay bashing or anything like that. I'm just saying you got to look sometimes beyond the surface.
I agree. That was a good one. I'm glad you decided to say that, because that was a great point.
Whatever.
Great point. So I guess I don't have to read the tweet where he apologized. I mean, we passed that, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, if it makes you feel good, since you don't have a list.
No. I don't want to read it because we got through it all. That was it. So that's my opinion. I done told y'all my opinion. Queen Vee told you her opinion, and that's what I just wanted to talk about. And we wanted to talk about it. We wanted to address it.
I mean, so what are your thoughts? Do you think that from a comedian standpoint, that anything is off limits? And if so, what? And why?
The only thing I think is off limits, there's a couple of things that I think are off limits. And I think I would say maybe making fun of somebody's pain and suffering of, I don't know, like I can't explain, like I'll give you a perfect example. George W. Bush died. I think it would be off limits for a comedian, who black, white, whatever, to go and have a little skit about George W. Bush's granddaughters or wife. I think that's off limits. I mean, they're suffering. I mean, it's not the time. Like right then and there, it's not the time.
It was George H.W. Bush.
I'm sorry, I thought it was W.
Not George W. And I know,
Okay,
I know that you're sensitive about those kind of things because I I didn't have nice things to say when he passed away. And
Right.
I understand that
So-
to each his own.
Yeah, so I think
But-
that's off limits to talk.
But why?
Because it's just somebody suffering. Like somebody, like, I think it's just off limits. When it comes to somebody losing their life and you making fun of them or their family, it's off limits. Like, let's just say D.L. Hughley. Let's just say if he got up there on the stage and it's like, all them dumbasses on that plane in New York, why didn't them dumbasses just rush those guys like the other people did on the other plane? You would have had a better shot. That's off limits. That's something like serious. A lot of people died. So I think that's off limits. You understand?
I understand what you're saying. Absolutely. I understand what you're saying.
I think that is, and I don't think, what else is off limits? Talking about somebody who is sick or dying. And I'll give you an example of that. This is just a makeup example. This ain't anyone specific, but like, let's just say a celebrity had cancer. No comedian should be like, even though they're joking, you know what? When this motherfucker die, man, can you imagine all the stuff they gonna sell out of his house? That motherfucker got a lot of money. Like, that's off limits. You know? Just the dying stuff, that's off limits. To me, that's my two off limit. Those are the things I think are off limits. Other than that, everything's a fair game.
Two things. One, before I get to commenting about that, what you triggered in my mind when you were talking was when Kevin Hart and his wife went through the whole cheating scandal, which you already know, and anybody that's been listening to this podcast already knows how I felt about how he handled that was just pure BS, but whatever. Another comedian, one of your faves, the African dude,
Michael Blackston,
put that in comedy. Put that in, like, he had a joke about it. Kevin got pissed off. We're friends and he's on a rampage and he's pissed off about it and he talking about him and, but.
That's fair game.
Why? I thought it was fair game. I didn't think it was off limits.
That's fair game.
But Kevin was all sensitive about it. And my thing is, you a comedian. How you sensitive about somebody joking about you? That was stupid. You shouldn't have been sitting in a freaking hotel lobby. I mean, a hotel parking lot with some chick that wasn't your wife. That you set yourself up for jokes. I'm sorry.
I agree with that.
So my second thing is, back to your point, somebody going through, being gay and having to deal with all the backlash. Couldn't you say, devil's advocate? Couldn't you say, hey, your comment was hurtful to me? What's the difference between that hurtful and the hurtful you talk about?
I don't
like,
understand.
It's that thin line, meaning like, it's hurtful to talk about somebody who just died or somebody that's dying, but because, that's pain that they're feeling. But somebody could argue that a gay man is feeling pain because nobody accepts him in his community or in his family.
So here's the thing with that. The difference is when here's my thing. It's just like with somebody dying, it's just like a time and a place. Like, you're specifically talking about this person right after it happened. In terms of somebody being hurt and all of that, I mean, I know you can be hurt by anything. I mean, no matter what a comedian says. But I don't think it's a fair comparison. Now, if somebody was a comedian, a comedian can't be like, well, this person who committed suicide because he was confused about his life and he didn't know, how can I put this? If he said he was confused about his life, so he committed suicide, that's off limits too. Making fun of him because he was gay and he done killed himself, that's off limits. So it's the same.
I agree with you. I'm just trying to get you to, think outside the box. And because that's what people are going to say. They're going to say, well, what's sensitive for you might not be sensitive for me. Just like, we were talking about the whole death thing. I totally agree with you. But at the same time, If I ain't like you alive, now I'm supposed to honor you dead?
I mean, yeah.
But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother podcast.
I mean, if you don't like if
we
you don't
kind of
like
got
somebody,
into it,
that's
y'all.
fine.
Because
It's a big difference between liking somebody's politics and just because you ain't like a person's politics, that don't mean you can't feel sorry for the family because they lost somebody. So, but like you said, that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
a whole
it
nother
is.
podcast.
It is. But we're gonna have to talk about that. We're gonna have to talk about that soon on another podcast because I really want to understand. Like,
let me ask you this: there's a few people that you probably didn't like. No, I'm not gonna put that. No, never mind.
listen,
Have you ever not liked somebody in person and then they pass away and you just still didn't care because you just didn't like them before when they were alive?
So let me say it like this: it's not that I didn't care. I always care. You hear about someone passing, you think about that person, and you do what you feel in your heart. So, for example, I had someone that I knew. We were no longer friends. Her husband passed away. I knew her husband because we had been friends previously. I felt her pain, being a married woman and if I was to lose you, whatever. So I felt her pain. I made sure that everyone that I knew that knew her was aware. I even set up for, them to make sure they got, a fruit basket or something to her. It depends on who it is and the relationship we've had in the past. I don't know George H.W. Bush. I don't know his family. And if that means I'm stone cold because I don't have empathy for somebody that brought crack cocaine into my community, then I'll just be stone cold. Now, if I knew him and I knew his family, maybe I would have a little bit more empathy. Not only that, the man lived a full life. His wife has already gone on to glory. The man has lived a full life. He was in his 90s. It's not like he passed away suddenly in his 40s.
It's not. To me, it's not about that. It's just
But
somebody lost it. Somebody lost their,
but I
their
don't
dad,
know
their
them,
grandpa.
so it's hard for me to have empathy for someone I don't know.
Maybe,
and someone that I just remember having done some awful things.
I guess
I don't
it's
know
different.
if you ever heard of. Do you remember Willie Horton?
Yeah, I know.
Like there's a lot of things that just never sat right with me with him, and but I do. I get what you're saying. I know we didn't kind of gone off topic.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
I get what you're saying. I'm gonna take heed to what you're saying. I'm gonna think on it. But that's just how I feel.
Yeah, I mean,
God bless the dead.
I guess because
God bless the family.
I guess because when I thought about him dying and so he left some kids behind and grandchildren behind, especially with the kids, I thought about when I lost my mom, how I felt. So how I was feeling was probably the same way they were feeling. And no matter what a person did, I just still feel a sympathy for the family. Plain and
so
simple.
I feel some empathy for their family. George W. Bush, his son, I never really, I don't necessarily agree with his politics, but I don't think he's a bad guy. So I feel empathy for him and his family. Jeb Bush rubs me the wrong way too, but hey, you want me to feel empathy? I feel empathy for the family.
That's on you.
I feel empathy for the family that he left behind.
Well, that's my whole point.
It is hard for me to feel empathy for him.
Well, that was my whole point. I was talking about the family.
All right, I get it. I'm good. We've met in the middle.
All right, so now that we got off topic, but it was still good conversation though. Even though it was still good conversation. So.
And I mean some humble pie. I get what you're saying. You've gotten through to me.
All right. Well, all right.
I get what you're saying.
So.
And I'm sorry for their loss.
All right. Well, that's you. You ain't gotta apologize to me.
I'm just saying.
But
I can't apologize to them. I don't know them personally, but
So we got a little bit off topic there, but it was great. It was a good topic to bring up. So now we're gonna have the Stew Nod of the Week, and y'all know what that is. Stew Nod of the Week is that stupid person that does stupid things all the time. And the Stu Nod of the week is, I would say it's 6 robbers. And I don't know how to, I'm looking at this here, and I just want to read the whole thing. But that probably won't sound good. So basically, 6 robbers came into a store. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jump in at any time, Queen V. 6 robbers came in the store trying to rob the store. The store owner told him, what was it, around 3 o'clock? The store owner told him to come back at what?
Told him to come back at 6:30.
Told him to come back at 6:30.
Because he'll have more money.
Because he'll have more money. So they come back. The robbers, first of all, they leave and say, okay, we'll come back. That's one. They come back at what time, Queen V?
5:30.
They come back at 5:30, and what did he say to them, Queen V?
He told them they needed to get a watch because they're an hour early. I told you to come back at 6:30.
So then they come back at 6:30, and then they get arrested from a plainclothes officer that was there.
Well, I think there were several officers that were there to arrest them, and one of them actually got away.
Yeah,
so
one of
them
did get away.
Of them. Yeah.
So
that was just stupid.
So look, I don't know the names of these robbers, but you are Stu Nod of the week. You know, Stu Nod of the week, because I dude tells you to come back and you actually come back. My first thought is like, look, he told me to come back. Oh, police gonna be there. I ain't coming back. First of all, I'm gonna get that money right then and there if I was a robber. I'm not coming back. Lightning don't strike in the same place twice. So they come back and, they keep coming back. So I think that was the stupidest thing in the world. And for that, you 6 dummies are Stu Nod of the week, and you deserve it. That's my Stu Nod of the week. And I think that was a great one. We will now have Queen V's words of wisdom to take us out. Queen V, take it away.
They say that laughter is and always will be the best form of therapy. For myself, I find that to be true. I love to laugh. I laugh at everything, the stupidest, the corniest. I just laugh at it all. And while, comedians are not politically correct, if they were, we probably wouldn't find them humorous. And I think that, we have to get to a place where we're not so sensitive about everything that someone says, especially when they're in a tone that is not meant to be taken seriously. We got to learn not to take life so seriously, and everybody's not out to harm you or mean you any harm. And there are going to be some comedians that are going to tote that line more than others. And maybe that's just not the comedian that you need to be listening to or going to their shows because you're not really feeling them. But I think that censoring comedians just would not be good. I mean, what are they going to talk about if you censor them? They talk about everything that we thinking, but we just afraid to say. And they do it in a humorous way. So at the end of the day, I think you should, there's a quote that I've heard one time before that you should laugh when you can, apologize when you should, and let go of whatever you can't change. And that's my quote for the week.
Queen V, that was very good. Very good. And that'll do it for this episode of In the Lounge with Dre and Vee. We thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit the website, weinthelounge.com. Click on this episode. You can leave comments in the blog portion of the particular page of this episode. Make sure you get involved, and we want to hear what you have to say. So go to the website. Let me hear what you got to say about this episode. We really would like to hear what you think. So that's going to do it for this episode. Again, we thank you for listening, and we are out of here. Peace. We out.